President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi delivered on Thursday a speech in a special session in Egypt in the Davos Economic Forum held in Switzerland. In his speech, the President said that Egypt has a clear vision to face challenges and difficulties in this stage of the country's history. He also hailed the Egyptian people for their role in facing these challenges. More in the following report.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi headed a delegation of the Egyptian Economic Group ministers at the Davos Economic Forum in Switzerland. The President presents the economic reform program adopted by Egypt to regain its position as one of the most important economies in the Arab, African and international regions. On Thursday, the President delivered a key speech in a special session on Egypt in the Davos Economic Forum. The President said that Egypt has a clear vision to face challenges and difficulties in this stage of the country's history. He confirmed that parliamentary elections will be held very soon and said that legislation will be set to guarantee human rights, stressing that the leadership is pressing forward with building real democratic state. Concerning terrorism, al-Sisi said that it is a world phenomenon that poses threats to all countries disregarding race or religion. On the economic level, the President said that the government adopted new incentive measures to spur local and foreign investments, admitting that the country is suffering from high rates of unemployment. Meanwhile, Minister of Trade and Industry Munir Fakhri Abdel-Noor met with the Swiss ambassador in Cairo to discuss participation of the Swiss investors in the Sharm el-Sheikh Economic Forum in March to view investment opportunities in national projects such as the Golden Triangle project in southern Egypt and the Sibaya Phosphate project, new and renewable energy projects and small and medium enterprises. Egypt has the second highest return on investment rate in the world, which makes it a most important investment destination. Abdel-Noor called for the activation of the free trade agreement with Switzerland, Norway, Iceland that allows the entry of Egyptian products to the markets of Central and Northern Europe. He said that he's attending the ministerial meeting of the World Trade Organization, the WTO, at the sidelines of the forum and at the invitation of the Swiss Minister of Economy to discuss latest developments in the World Trade Organization negotiations on development issues.
A proposal to link the Nile River with Congo River was rejected due to technical reasons. Committee concluded that the project did not meet the international standards. More in the following report.
Water Resources Advisory for Dams Affairs said in a news conference that Egypt officially rejected a proposal to link the Nile River water to the Congo River due to technical reasons. A private company previously submitted to the Egyptian ministry a report about the feasibility of the project linking the two rivers that estimated Egypt could receive an additional 110 cubic meters of water annually from the Congo River. Upon the proposal, the ministry formed a committee of experts who met with the company's head and representatives on December 3, 2014 to discuss technical matters. He added that the committee asked the company to submit more details of the proposal and officially invited the company's head and his team 3 times on December 11th, 29th and 30th, 2014 to hold a second meeting. The committee concluded that the project did not meet the international standards, saying that the way of the water direction from the Congo River to a link or a stream that will be created has not been determined yet in a report submitted to the cabinet and the presidency. A 2013 study conducted by a professor of petroleum and energy examined how to link the Nile and the Congo water systems. The study said that around 1,000 billion cubic meters of Congo River water is forced into the Atlantic annually, adding that water could be diverted by digging a 600 kilometers canal from the Nile in the southern Sudan to northern Sudan and then to Lake Nasser. Egypt and Ethiopia are in talks about the controversial Renaissance Dam. Egypt said that the construction would affect its share of Nile water, whereas Ethiopia has claimed that the dam is necessary for its development.
In In coordination with the Japanese Embassy in Cairo, the Ministry of Youth and Sports held a meeting with a delegation from the Japan International Cooperation Agency. The meeting aimed at discussing means of bilateral cooperation between Egypt and Japan, mainly in the domain of youth. Nile TV's Ali Shusha was there and filed in this report.
The Japan International Cooperation Agency (JICA) assists and supports partner countries in the field of official development assistance. In coordination with the Japanese Embassy in Cairo, the Ministry of Youth and Sports held a meeting with a delegation from JICA to discuss means of bilateral cooperation mainly in the domain of youth.
First of all, JICA is one of the Japanese entities that relates to the function or the service that Japan work on in Egypt as a close relation with the Egyptian government that serves the voluntary service dimension, and we have discussed the way of more cooperation in the coming year, or actually this year to start on, having volunteers from Japan in our youth centers, or what applicable to the criteria and the way of working in the volunteer system in JICA. And as well, we knew more about the fields that JICA works with. For example, we knew today that there is a way of training for the youth staff at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and this is so much important from our side to enhance the capabilities of youth leaders at the Ministry of Youth, as we mean simply the future of the Ministry of Youth. As well, we discussed the dimension of the special needs, how we can work together either through the JICA or the entities that can serve these dimensions in cooperation and in link with Japan Embassy in Cairo.
The Japanese Embassy in Cairo, JICA, and the Egyptian government can work hand in hand to implement projects in so many fields, like sports and education. They also can do a lot to small projects in particular.
We introduced different grants or different cooperations that we, as the Japanese government, give. One of them is JICA. It's an agency that sends volunteers, Japanese volunteers, in different fields, among which can be many fields that would interest the ministry here. We were more interested on sending volunteers to Japan, which is at the meantime is not a program available, but we will be positively considering it in the future, I hope. As for the other grants that we